guy.
The term Miami legend.
Come on, enough with that.
Gets thrown around a lot. But I have no hesitation here. If you have been in Miami at all for the last 2 decades and have ever turned on the radio, you will know her voice. For over 20 years, she was a staple on Power 96, first overnight, then the late shift, and finally graduating to the morning show and became the first Hispanic woman to host a drive time show in Miami. In 2020, she was awarded Miami New Times Radio Personality of the Year. She is the mother of 2 beautiful daughters. She is as Miami as Julia Tuttle, the Orange Bowl, and Sunny Day Flooding. She is Miami like Café con Leche and Mangoes, both the fruit and the nightclub on Ocean Drive. I am honored to have her as my guest host for this entire edition of Because Miami. Lucy Lopez, bienvenidos. You can find her at the Lucy Lopez on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. She's the host of the Mamacita Rica podcast. Lucy, how are you? ¿Cómo está?
Yo estoy muy bien, Billy. Coño, tremendo intro that you gave me, man. That was really nice of you. Thank you, Billy.
By the way, I did not mean that in the obligatory, like, hi, how are you? Like, kind of way. I meant that sincerely and profoundly because I think after Dan Le Batard, you are like the most Miami person that I know, and it can be a real challenge these days to be a person like us who has Miami in our blood, who cares so much about Miami. So, Lucy, like, for serious, like, for truth, like, how are you? How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, my point exactly. Yeah,
that's a cart, I think.
Yeah, that's going in. We'll play it next week.
That's not even a car echando los frenos on Palmetto. That's literally how
Miami.
I feel.
Miami, the only place with a highway named for a cockroach.
I mean, because that's exactly what it is. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay en lo que cabemos, as my mom would say. In what it is, what's happening in our city. I'm okay. Sometimes it gets rough out there being a Miami mamacita.
No, you're a hater.
It's
so
you're a hater.
I'm a hater. No, you're a hater.
You're a hater. Listen,
we're like the Spider-Man meme. There we pointing at each other.
No, it's hard, bro. It's in Miami. It's days where I wake up, I'm like, everything is gonna be great, and we're wonderful, and look at all these wonderful people doing all these great things, and then those people turn around and are complete and cut you off on the Palmetto and, dare I say, use their freaking blinkers. Please don't use blinkers. When people use blinkers on 95 and the Palmetto, I know they're not from here. And it just
wait,
I'm from here and I use the blinkers.
Wait, are you discouraging people from using their turn signals?
Just don't use it. Don't use it. If we're gonna be Miami, let's be Miami all the way. Don't use the blinkers. And another thing. If it turns into Mordor on 95 or 75 westbound, and we're looking for the ring, and it's raining everywhere, please do me a favor. Turn up those hazard lights.
Oh my God.
Turn them up. Be proud. Be proud that you're from Miami and you got to use those hazard lights. Because then how are we going to find you in the storm, Mom?
Lord of the Rains. Okay.
Exactly.
Pero so, my God, you're just absolutely promoting the worst of this culture right now. I can't even.
Excuse you?
Yeah, you're just like this is.
Sir.
Yeah, you're like they don't call it our Emmy. Okay?
No,
pero like,
it's Miami. It's my city. Okay, Billy? And these are the rules. As soon as I see somebody say, or someone go like this and tell me thank you for letting them get in my lane, I'm like, oh, they're not from here. They must be from like Ohio or something because they're not from here.
Yeah, I always, paraphrase the famous president, we have nothing to fear but fear itself and Nissan Altimas with IMMDC stickers.
You know that I just realized that people who have Nissan Altimas genuinely don't know how to drive.
Is there like an application at the dealership?
My
to make
sister
sure?
has a Nissan Altima. She does not know how to drive. She's a terrible driver. It's been like in a million accidents, and she always goes back to the Altima. I don't understand. I'm infuriating you right now.
Toyota Corollas?
Toyota Corolla is terrible. Yes. Grandmothers drive those, and they have to be powdered blue. If not, they don't count.
Yeah, it's a Toyota Corolla is
Hey.
In God we trust. And it's that God that's been protecting me.
Not in a Toyota Corolla.
Oh my God, whose
Toyota-
abuelo is that?
it's a Toyota Corolla.
Is that Corolla?
It's a Toyota.
Little Billy Corben.
So let me
That's right, little Billy Corben.
let me. Are you okay?
I love that. I love when he called you little Billy Corben.
So,
Dímelo.
according to a new study by the moving company selfstorage.com, they analyzed Google search data
Right.
across the 50 states, and Florida ranks as the #1 state from which most Americans want to leave, want
Right.
to get the
Good.
out.
Get out of here. Please leave. Please, bro. Please. I'm begging all of you to get the fuck out of Miami. Please leave. Leave us alone. This mess, this whole thing, this city, the palm trees, the traffic, the cockroaches, not knowing if we should work remotely or not. Leave it to us. If you're not from here, get the fuck out already, please. Wait, does that count for that guy, Matt, your producer?
Well,
With the
first of
white
all,
hair?
which Matt?
Is he from Miami?
Which Matt?
The
I
other
have
white
trouble
guy.
keeping up with the white
The
guy
older
Matts
one. The older one.
at this place.
This guy. Is he
the
from
older?
Miami?
Wait, is he the older one? Are you-
Is he from Miami? He's from
No,
Fort
look at
Lauderdale.
him. He doesn't.
Isn't he? Is he from Fort Lauderdale?
He looks a little more Palm Beach
Hey,
to
guys.
me, but no, he
Hey
is.
guys, I have a
A
condo
little
in
further north
Deerfield.
than that.
Deerfield.
A little further north than that.
Ocala? Please don't say Ocala.
My God.
Further than Ocala? Where? Where's he from?
New York.
New York.
He's from the Big Apple.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Anyways,
Oh my God. So I mean,
super cute.
Deerfield's
Anyways.
condo in Deerfield Beach. Holy. So here's the thing, though, about the people Googling about getting the out of Florida.
Right.
I suspect that some of those are probably new arrivals. Some of those are probably the carpetbaggers and the
Mats.
people that you're like, the Matt.
Oh,
Matt's-
goddamn.
Matt's.
Easy.
Matt's
Holy-
and Stephanie's.
The Matt.
They're all leaving.
Yes. No,
Okay.
but no, I suspect it's also like the Stephanie Lacey's. I suspect there's a lot of people who can't afford to live in Florida
Are you-
anymore who are
I'm sorry.
Florida natives who
Billy,
are
are you speaking on behalf of Lacey's Garcia de la Cruz Castro Hernandez? How dare you? First of all, she's my cousin. Second of all, she had to leave Hialeah because they're treating those efficiencies like they're studio apartments here on Brickell. Like, what the F?
Hialeah. You are from the Brooklyn of Miami, aren't you proud?
Please don't do that. Why did you try me like that? The Brooklyn.
That's what
There's
the realtors
nothing-
call it.
Brother, there's nothing Brooklyn of Hialeah, and whatever realtor has put that little phrase together and has imprinted it in your cabeza, please stop, okay?
Is it the Staten Island of Miami? Which
Oh my
is
God,
it?
It's nothing. It's just Hialeah, bro. It's just Hialeah. It's a little place where little old people live and where people like me had big dreams and fought to get out of there, and now we're trying to buy back our house.
Agua, mierda y factoría?
Don't say that. Why do you say that? Do you understand that I got banned from the Thanksgiving table last year and I don't want to be banned this year because of you?
Thanksgiving?
Samsgiving.
No Thanksgiving.
It's Sansgiving. Sansgiving. Okay?
Yeah. What's a Uyghur? So you brought up Hialeah, which is your hometown. You're
Yeah.
a Hialeah native, which
Yeah.
there's not a lot of Hialeah natives like
Excuse you?
in the world, though.
Who's the guy from the movie? Not Vincent D'Onofrio.
Not Matt.
Not Vincent.
Probably not
no,
a Matt.
Matt is from New York.
Not a Matt from
Catherine
Hialeah.
Keener?
Matthew from Hialeah.
No.
I thought she was from Hialeah.
Yeah, she's from the John Malkovich movie. Yeah. But the guy,
The other guy.
the guy from the
Hialeah
movie,
geography here. Jubin geography we're playing
The
here.
guy with the movie and the Vietnam and the whole thing. He's in that movie. He's also
the
from Hialeah,
hell?
bro. Somebody.
Johnny Depp?
No, bro. He's from Miramar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is from Miramar.
He's from Miramar. I'm gonna find him right
Miramar.
now.
The Vietnam
In the house.
movie? Platoon?
In the movie. No, not Platoon. The one was like, "You're in my house."
Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, that he has the gun to his mouth. What's his name?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent
He's
D'Onofrio?
from Hialeah. Google that.
Wow. She's
Google. Thank you.
Vincent was born in Hialeah.
Was that the New Yorker who gave me credit for something that I said?
Yes, it was.
Born in Hialeah? At like Hialeah Hospital?
He's from Hialeah, bro. Don't you follow Hialeah 1982 on Instagram? Anyways.
Graduated from Hialeah Miami Lake Senior High
Miami,
School.
like. Thank you, thank you, Francis.
I
What do
think
you
I'm nervous.
So
Is he from like Brooklyn? Is that why you said the whole Brooklyn thing? I mean, I know
Ding
why you
ding
said
ding
the
ding
He's
ding.
from Brooklyn. I can
from
totally tell. When he went to get me at the garage,
and he
was all
does
like,
carts. He's
"Hi,
like a
nice to
regular
meet you."
Michael Winslow or Phil Hendry over here. He does
Super
all his
nice.
own voices and everything. Hialeah.
Yes.
Well, let's start with Miami, and then we'll go to the Brooklyn or Staten Island of Miami
So
in
annoying.
Hialeah.
So annoying. I can't believe somebody said that. Qué pena.
Hialeah, the second largest city in Miami-Dade County. So you probably see this. We're number one. Miami is number one.
Yeah!
It is the least affordable housing market in the United States.
We did it, y'all.
Numero uno. Okay.
Yes, you guys, congratulations. Party is going to happen at the Wahorf later.
Magatav.
Whoa.
So the median list price for a home is now $585,000 in Miami, and homeowners can expect to spend 79.92% of their monthly income on the cost of homeownership. Now, wait for it. The number five least affordable city, least affordable housing market in the United States. I'll give you 3 guesses.
Okay, Hialeah.
It's Hialeah.
Yeah.
Hialeah is the number 5.
Thank you.
Least
You're welcome.
affordable.
Oh my God.
Least affordable.
Yeah.
As
it should be. We put a lot of work and effort into our city. Billy Corben.
The average family.
No. Little Billy Corben.
Little Billy Corben.
You have these too, don't you?
No, I do
Billy
not.
Corben.
You can't. You can't. I have to do that.
No, that's
all
a
by
special.
myself?
That's a special one for you.
How can I help?
So in Hialeah, the average. Are you okay?
It's so dumb.
yeah. This is the weekly experience that we have here on Because Miami.
Play it again.
So,
I don't have it. He does.
Do that one. How can I help?
Oh, we're gonna have a whole segment where we're gonna do nothing but play,
so good.
but play those cards. Are you kidding?
It's so good.
So
good.
So in Hialeah, the average family spends $2,324 monthly on mortgage payments and property taxes, which translates to 65.79% of their annual household income, which is up 1.58% from the previous month.
Which
so this
also
was
means, which also equals to coño.
Well, hang on, for the gringo audience, would you explain what that term means?
Coño. Oh, coño is like for everything. Coño can mean coño, like that's crazy, or coño, this is great. That's great. You could also use coño for well, these are a lot of bad words I'm saying out here.
Yeah.
You're a radio professional over here. Just
Listen,
I am a
swearing
radio
out of
professional.
you've been off terrestrial radio now for what, like 2 years?
It'll be 2 years in July.
Yeah, so to paraphrase Air Supply, you are all out of so or you're full of right now.
Who's Air Supply?
So hey,
Yes.
got any books you want to ban?
No.
So
Especially the ones that have Celia Cruz in it.
so
Did you see Carmen Pelaez go the F off on those people when it came to banning books? And how dare you? And this, she's a G.
she's a Miami treasure.
She is a G. We need to protect her at all costs. Just like we need to protect you, even though we hate you, we love you, Billy. Can that be a drop?
That's a I think that's put it on the cartboard.
How can I help?
So So Carmen, along with dozens of other, it actually gave me hope, like un poquito, like a little bit of hope from Miami.
Why?
That so many people turned out to last week's Miami-Dade school board meeting to speak out against. Actually, it was Miami Lakes, not Hialeah Miami Lakes, but Miami Lakes. It was the Bob Graham K-8 school where you had one parent who didn't even read the books. We talked about it on this program, including the Amanda Gorman book. She never read the book, but thought that Oprah Winfrey wrote it because Oprah Winfrey's name is on the cover, having done an intro on the book. And a lot of folks mobilized for this 10-hour-long school board meeting last week to speak up during public comment, including Carmen.
I know there are 2 people that have tried to ban the story of Celia Cruz. That's Fidel Castro and Ron DeSantis.
Go, girl. Love her. Love.
We cannot make the same mistakes in passively sitting by. And no, don't, because we don't want to have a problem. We have to stand up and say enough is enough.
Yes, Carmen. Yes.
They're afraid of us. They're afraid of letting us know our history because they know our history empowers us. Democracy is everything. Diversity is everything. And we cannot give in to fear. We have to give in to kindness. And it's harder. But you choose to be on the right side of history. I hope you all make the right choice.
Oh, I love her. Don't you love Carmen?
She's fabulous. And we talked, I don't know, last year, the year before, about her play, The Cuban Vote.
Oh my
at
gosh,
Miami
that was
New Drama at the
fantastic. I went
Colony.
to go
Loved
see
it.
that at the Lincoln Road.
Yes, it was great. And she is an important voice
She's an
in this community.
incredibly important voice. She is massively talented, and her stance on things, you really need to listen to her. When I saw that she did that, I was like, "Ay, Carmen, that's where you belong." She belongs in office. I've been saying that for a very long time.
She's running. 786-504-9842 is the Because Miami complaint line. 786.
Wait, let me write that down.
504
504
98 786 505 9842.
We'll play your voicemail next week, though.
Wait, we're not doing the voicemail?
No, we'll play her voicemail next week.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It is going to be the most
totally calling
profane Spanglish voicemail
No,
ever.
it'll be cute. It'll be super cute.
But I think this week we're going to hear from Mario in Miami Beach.
Mario Williams, originally from Nassau, Bahamas, raised in Miami Beach, Florida, and North Miami Beach.
So
Listen,
much.
I used to be a fan of Le Batard back when he was writing for the Miami Herald until he started on the Dolphins, on the Hurricanes, and I realized he was like some leftist, goddamn near communist, even though he talked about being Fidel Castro, whatever have you.
What
But
is happening?
I've been a long-time fan of the show until y'all just went all the way left and left a good home at ESPN.
In Miami, we are
that's
definitely
all that
not
money on the
woke.
table because y'all wanted to come in and get all these liberal tears, crying, moaning. I can't even listen to a goddamn sports talk show without y'all complaining about some type of leftist woke-ass agenda that I don't even get. I don't even understand it. Like, I'm here to listen to sports. I'm not here to listen to Greg Cody talk about back in his day, which really, if you talk about back in his day, was back in some more racist-ass day that he don't really about, because he's a damn liberal-ass leftist, too.
Shut up and
he's
dribble,
just
Lucy.
bad. And then y'all have the nerve every Friday to have this white guilt Billy Corben dude, who the only good thing he ever did was that 30 for 30 about the Hurricanes. That was the but other than that, Billy Corben ain't
He ain't I know.
I don't know what the hell he comes in there crying, whining like nobody cares, bro.
Privilege, sir.
Okay, we'll get life rafts.
Okay.
We'll get little floaties we can put on our arms.
Floaties.
Got it.
We'll be okay when this city goes underwater. We'll be
Floaties.
good. I guarantee it.
What is this?
Floaties.
This gentleman is the epitome of 305 till the cat 5.
Or the epitome of the 786, which is our hotline area code, because we cannot afford a 305 number. Actually,
Bro.
it's because we're all full up, because we're sinking, but we're going to get floaties, or
We're
whatever
gonna
it is.
get floaties. We're gonna be fine,
Mario,
guys.
And I like Mario's double talk there. It's like, I grew up in Miami Beach, North Miami Beach. Like, wait, which is it? Is it Miami Beach? Or is it North Miami Beach?
Everybody
It's Nassau, Bahamas. That's where it actually
So,
is.
that's where he called in from. 786-505-9842. Now you can complain about Lucy Lopez.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
Too, if you'd like. But I really think our favorite caller from Minnesota last week said it best.
Your city's a disaster. Thank you.
An ultimate question, Mayor. Will you be talking about the Uyghurs in your campaign?
What, the what?
The Uyghurs.
What's a Uyghur?
Okay, we'll come back to that. You won't be. You got to get smart on that.
And you gave me homework. I'll look at what was it? What did you call it? A Weeble?
The Uyghurs. You really need to know about the Uyghurs, Mayor. You got to talk about it every day.
I will talk about. I will search Uyghurs. I'm a good learner. I'm a fast learner.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Keep coming back. I appreciate the time this morning. They sponsor interview with all the candidates like that. Good, bad one. Pretty good. Big swing and a miss on the Uyghurs, though. I just genuinely don't know how people don't know about that. There is a genocide underway in China having to do with the Uyghurs. It's a genocide.
Oh, my God.
Lucy, welcome to our new segment, Fear and Florida Men on the Campaign Trail.
I was right in the middle of a reptile zoo. And somebody was giving booze to these goddamn things.
Oh, my God.
There's just too many Florida men in this GOP
Too many Florida
presidential primary.
men in the studio.
Wait, what?
Too many Florida men in the studio.
If you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out.
Hi, Francis.
So Francis Suarez,
oh, my gosh.
Mayor, he is one of three Florida men who is running in the GOP presidential primary and is currently under criminal investigation and/or indictment.
Why do you like that's a bad thing?
No, it's like a prerequisite now for the Republican,
I was just gonna say
Republican candidates.
Because it's totally 305 and it fits his aesthetic.
So this whole Uyghur thing is a disaster. It is just his like what is Aleppo moment from Gary Johnson, the libertarian, twice the libertarian candidate for president, and it was just utterly humiliating. And everybody is dunking on this guy all over Elon Musk's internet, and
You're such an idiot.
And
you're an idiot.
And but so there are these predominantly Muslim folks, Uyghurs.
Bro, but did you know who the Uyghurs were before this interview?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just doing the people's job.
Francis Suarez. By the way, a lot more people know about it now thanks to this fuck up.
Right, which by the way, kudos to Suarez.
He is nothing.
A little bit.
How can I help?
He is nothing if not an educator. And
Mr. Mayor, you're brilliant. You were super smart.
Oh, if he's an educator, we should pay him like one. Hi, you can check out my podcast. It's going to start in July here in the studio.
She's pitching right now. So
Bimmel, we got a new show.
So here's the thing. He didn't know about it. Yet he's been talking nonstop about China and his anti-communist position, and yet he doesn't seem to know the victims of contemporary communism. He's still going on about Fidel Castro. I don't know if you heard. He's super dead. But he does. He's talking about
the problems in Cuba are super real still.
And
yes.
I have a song.
You have a song about
I'd like to sing you a song.
Oh my gosh.
About Francis and the Uyghurs.
Wait, is it by Peso Pluma? Because if it's not, I don't have time.
When Francis was on Hewitt's show, Francis didn't know about the Uyghur genocide. Francis didn't know. Go down, Francis, way down in commie land. Tell those Chinese to let my weebles go. Let my weebles go.
Professional in the room, don't step on the end of the song.
Yeah, man. That's why my hand was up.
All right. Streeter kind of whipped this thing up pretty quick this morning, so I didn't actually remember the four corners of that tune. But
can we give this song to the kids on TikTok? Because this video screams Olita Park, like a really rad canoe, and like four guys in white tank tops and like shredded jeans, and with like, you know how those guys like shave a little line in their eyebrow? That's what I want. That's what I want.
Let my weebles go.
Bro, that song goes hard, son. Hard.
Remix. We got to get the remix. The Power 96 remix.
I don't know about that, but I think we should definitely... You should definitely get. Let me call Pitbull.
I'm thinking Mi Burrito
Just kidding.
style,
He's busy.
But
Dale.
So Francis Suarez put out an embarrassing apology. What's so embarrassing about the apology too is that because he's on Twitter Blue, he had to edit the apology, so it's an edited tweet. Yeah.
Wait, does it start like this, bro? First of all, literally, sorry, Meng.
Why don't you read it in that voice?
Oh my
Go ahead,
gosh.
it's on the screen.
Oh, this is like my favorite thing to do. Okay. Okay. Of course, I am well aware of the suffering of the Uyghurs in China. They're being enslaved because of their faith. China has a deplorable record on human rights, and other people of faith suffer there. I didn't recognize the pronunciation my friend Hugh Hewitt used. That's on me, bro.
So,
he didn't say bro. He didn't say bro.
Can we
ad-lib.
Thank you.
Bro in Miami is like the upside down, punctuation at the beginning of a sentence, and then at the end of a sentence, like bro, like what the bro, or like you have to say it on bookend it.
Sometimes I can't tell if you're making fun of it or like you're embracing it, because I embrace it. It's like candy.
Sometimes you can't tell if I'm making fun of it or I'm embracing it.
Bro.
Yeah. Well,
Billy,
I'm a hater.
Seriously, totally hating on bros everywhere.
So what can we really expect from a man who could not pronounce the word literacy off a teleprompter.
Is that for real? Wow. Literally?
Yeah, it's like, I feel like we're in a Marvel movie. You have to pretend like there's a bunch of robots like over here exploding and
Is there a
shit.
dot on my
Like,
face?
See that green screen right there
we have
behind
to
you?
look like, oh, look out. Like, here come the
Bro,
robots.
he literally couldn't pronounce that. Pobrecito.
All right, let's do a pickup.
That's
You
it.
guys,
No, we should pick it up with that. He literally, let's go. Go.
what did I say?
No, he literally didn't pronounce it. Pobrecito. Go.
He literally pronounced it wrong. Pobrecito.
So, this, by the way, his excuse is he blames Hugh Hewitt for using the most popular Western pronunciation of the word. And incidentally, even if Hugh Hewitt had pronounced it any other way, it's,
Well, how
Uyghur,
else?
there's Uyghur, there's Uyghur, there's different ways. If he said Uyghur, that France would be like, oh, we did a partnership with WeWork in their co-working space, bro. So, and he'd be like, no. But here's the thing. He told him right away, like, this is a genocide in China.
Right.
And minutes later, when France is like, what did you say, Weebles, bro? Like, making fun of the genocide that he didn't know anything about.
Do you think he was genuinely making fun of it, Bailey? Or do you think he was just like caught off guard and didn't understand it?
I think he had no idea what he was talking
Okay,
about.
cool.
And I think his tweet is a lie, is what I'm saying. It's a you know how you can tell Francis Suarez is lying?
Okay.
His eyebrows are moving. That's how you can tell. And who else but Matt Gaetz dunked on him? I'm sorry, Matt Getz. Don't say gay in Florida. Matt Getz. Matt Getz tweeted, worst possible response to being easily exposed as uninformed. You should have just said the Uyghurs never needed help with permits in Miami.
But what do you...
That hurt.
Mr. Mayor, you're brilliant. You were super smart.
But Billy, what
Pero
do you
Lucy.
think? What do you think Mayor Suarez thinks a Uyghur is or was at that moment?
He thought it was a weeble. That's what that's what he said. And he also said,
What?
we have a new cart. Let my weebles go. Oh, wait, I just did it.
Let my weebles go.
Now you can talk.
Whoa.
Do you
This is what happens when you have a 20-year terrestrial radio veteran
Listen
in the
to me.
studio.
Who's now dropping F-bombs left and right.
Left and right.
I'm up. Listen,
And in the middle.
do you think that he thought it was like an animal? I'm being serious. Like, what did you think he was talking about?
Hey, Lucy, I have a top 5 for that.
Oh, boy.
This is...
Are they all dick jokes?
Oh, no.
Yeah. No. My goal is to actually have Juju post this to social media. So, when I suerte, Lucy, this
Yes.
is my top 5 things that Francis Suarez thinks a Uyghur is.
Number 5.
A cryptocurrency.
Número 4.
One of the guys the Florida Panthers traded for Matthew Tkachuk last year.
Hey, man.
That
Hey,
one's for
hey.
you, Roy.
Hey.
That one's for you.
Don't hit him while he's down.
Don't break my sternum.
Number 3.
Oh.
Mackenzie Uyghur. It's great.
Number 3, a new brand of Greek yogurt.
The number 2 thing on your list, Bailey.
That Francis Suarez thinks a Uyghur is something, according to urban legend, that Richard Gere once inserted rectally. It's funnier if I don't laugh at my own punchlines.
I know.
think.
You're laughing at your own joke.
Sorry.
Almost a
Guys,
dick joke. Almost a dick joke.
Remember when that celebrity gossip rumor like totally took over middle school? Like I was like, this guy put something up his butt, and you're like, what?
How did go viral before the internet, though? Like, how did we all nationally hear the same rumor like that?
Neil Rogers.
Well, Neil Rogers, but South Park came later. South Park made fun of the urban legend years later.
The Simpsons, Neil Rogers, your grandmother. Not your grandmother.
Not my grandma.
My grandma was talking about Richard Gere's rectum.
And the number 1 thing that Francis Suarez thinks is a Uyghur is... Hold on, let me do that again.
Okay. Take 2.
And the number 1 thing that Francis Suarez thinks a Uyghur is...
Vanilla Ice.
Wow.
So Francis...
These are the jokes, kids.
Francis Suarez is not like... When he goes out and he plays like pretend President Panzi Postalita, it gets really, really embarrassing. Every time he opens his mouth, in fact, it gets really, really embarrassing. Do you remember this, Gem, when he went on in the middle of the Patria y Vida uprising?
Excuse me. Hi, Aaliyah. Let me knock.
Come in.
Hi, this is Aaliyah. Can you please pronounce that correctly, Billy? Thank you. It's called Patria y Vida. Say it. No, you said Patria. You ruined it. Say it.
Okay. I'll say it correct.
Patria
y Vida.
Thank you.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't, bro.
Okay, Matt, how would you pronounce that?
I'm not even going to try.
All right.
Thank you.
So,
2 Americas.
I don't know.
3, actually.
I don't know if you know what they say about Miami. The great thing about Miami is it's so close to the United States. And here's the time that Francis Suarez suggested that while protesters were taking to the streets in Cuba demanding freedom, that we bomb Cuba.
Let me hear this.
What I'm suggesting is that option is one that has to be explored and cannot be just simply discarded as an option that is not on the table. And there's a variety of ways the military can do it, but that's something that needs to be discussed and needs to be looked at as a potential option in addition to a variety of other options.
Maybe he just says things in the heat of the moment and doesn't realize what he's saying. Most Cuban men do that. I come from a family of Cuban men. Sometimes they say things that they don't really mean. Like, you're not really my daughter. You're a communist. Don't you dare vote for that person. And my dad is like a really nice guy. I'm just saying.
Do you find something about Francis Suarez's voice triggering?
Bro.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's Brooklyn for yes, too.
Thank you.
Oh, that's true.
Thank you. My dad's from the Bronx.
Respect.
But, thank you.
Respect.
I don't know why he says these things, Bailey. And I'm being honest, like, as a Cubana Americana from Miami, sometimes I'm like, pero what is happening? Pero what is happening? Pero cállate. And he keeps going and going and going and going. And you're like, please stop. And at that point in life, you just want the chacal to come out. Next.
The what?
The chacal.
Would you explain it to our gringo audience, please?
And the black guy in the studio.
Okay, so back in the day, there was a show called Sábado Gigante, hosted by the great Don Francisco, and he would have like this, like, you know, people come up and sing, and then this guy dressed like the Grim Reaper would come out with a horn and go, pa-da-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, and that meant it's a rap, honey. Get off stage. And I feel sometimes Mayor Suarez should be walking around with the chacal. So every time he goes to say something stupid, the chacal comes out and goes, pa-da-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, and that's his cue, like, oh, damn, me di la pata de nuevo.
So he was
Bro.
basically Sandman Sims on the Apollo, is what you're saying.
Sir, thank you.
You're welcome.
Eso mismo.
Speaking of the chacal,
Dímelo.
Rick Scott.
Oh, gosh, terrifying.
It's the conversation now is yet another Florida man. We don't even have time to talk about the other 2 Florida men, like
who?
Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
But Rick Scott, yet another Florida man, the former governor, the current United States senator, the CEO of the company responsible for the largest Medicare fraud in the history of Estados Unidos. He is exploring the possibility of jumping into the GOP presidential primary. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think I just got my period.
You're goddamn right, meatball.
Oh my gosh. Does anybody have a pad? Anyways, here are my top 5 nicknames for candidate Rick Scott.
Candidate? Oh no.
I want to say it like that too. Are you ready?
Número 5.
Rick Slenderman Scott. Thank you.
Número 4.
Slenderman might be creepier.
Then Rick Scott?
I doubt that. I doubt that. Did you see that picture where he was just smiling like, ah?
Oh my gosh, you could tell that he was not raised in Florida. So weird. It's like, Slenderman is sweet. It's like, no, Matt. Rick Scott is scary AF, as my child would say.
Okay, number 4.
You want to say number 4?
He did. She's not even listening to you now. You don't even count. Número 4.
Rick Not So. Great Scott. That's not what I did there, because I know you love movies and so do I. Number 3, Rick Scotton.
I don't get it.
Because of pastillas, because of Oxycontin, and because of everybody's dirty uncle who's still in rehab and doesn't get out. And when you talk about him at Nochebuena, your mom looks at you and goes, muchacha, cállate la fucking boca, comunista.
Rush Limbaugh?
Exactly.
Número dos.
Oh, yeah. Rick Randall Boggs Scott. I did that for all the moms. Yeah.
It's a Pixar thing.
Yeah, Randall Boggs was like this creepy little lizard, purple. He had teeth, like all his teeth went up to his ears, and he would like show up and then disappear, show up and disappear, kind of like Rick Scott has been doing his entire career. Showing up and disappearing when shit hits the fan.
Numero uno.
Rick Reverend Kane Scott. Do you know where that's from?
Yes, the good Reverend Henry Kane from the Poltergeist series of films. He's like the cult leader kind of character.
He was terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying, but I'm being dead ass. Go look at a picture of Rick Scott. I'm going to let you. Google. Okay. Now go look at a picture of Reverend Kane.
Okay.
Bro.
It's the same guy. You're all gonna die! Yeah.
We're all gonna die, but we are. We're all gonna die. According to John Morales, we're all gonna die.
Floaties, but we're gonna have floaties.
We're gonna have floaties, according to Mario.
Mario from Miami Beach. I just dawned on me, I don't know what order this show is going to be in, so I'm not sure if the audience will get that reference or that's going to be some sort of like future bro.
It played already.
Kind of rare. Oh, good. All right. Then,
okay, cool.
Then they'll understand that reference. I'm sorry. We're doing this show live. It's Friday. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
I want to also express my profound gratitude to God for the celebration of the anniversary of what historians will call the greatest day for defending life in our history, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. How many great people will be born in the future that can shape our world and can cure diseases who may never have been given a chance? Let's also pray for our Supreme Court justices as they weather the storm of criticism for protecting innocent life and upholding the rule of law in the face of a secular world that inundates us with a counter message. I want to also thank the countless Americans who comprise the pro-life movement and who are building a culture of life based on the gospel.
I can't.
I know.
Can someone give me like tequila or something?
I've got Quaaludes. How about that? Valium?
This is like, okay.
I have Ozempic.
My literal stomach gets nauseous when I hear people speak that way.
Anna Hochkammer is the mayor of Vice for the village of Pinecrest. She is the executive director of Florida Women's Freedom Coalition. She is working to gather petitions in order to put on the ballot next November 2024 a state constitutional amendment that will make access to abortion a right in our Constitution. Anna, what is your response to Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, a.k.a. That's Presidente Ponzi Postalita?
I would say a couple of things. Number one, I have very, very strong feelings about Uyghurs. So if you'd like to talk to me in more detail about religious minorities in China, just let me know and we can schedule a 45-minute Zoom about it.
I respect that you are devout anti-communist, and I appreciate you.
I am indeed. You know, I think it's fascinating that somebody who is running for president of the United States believes that the greatest day for freedom in our nation's history was the day that Roe v. Wade was overturned, not say, I don't know, at Appomattox when the Civil War ended, or I don't know, 1776 with the Declaration of Independence, or, I don't know, the establishment of the U.S. Constitution or something. Those would be
Croqueta Day.
Much freer days in my mind, but to each his or her own.
Apparently, he thinks the day that exemplifies freedom was the day that 168 million Americans lost a constitutional right that they had enjoyed for 50 years, and particularly the most fundamental God-given inalienable right, which is bodily autonomy.
Well, let's be clear that it wasn't 168 million Americans. It wasn't just American women who lost a profound right. Every single American lost the right to privacy with that ruling. Every single American's bodily autonomy, every single American's capacity to be free to make decisions for oneself and one's family was put on the block with that decision. And so this is not just a matter of, all the guys sitting out there thinking, geez, tough breaks for those gals. All of us should be PO'd that our fundamental freedoms have been gutted by that decision. And slowly but surely, we're going to have to get them back.
Everybody has a mother, an aunt, a daughter, a sister. So Anna's right about, I was way low in my 168 million Americans being deprived of a right, but also Lucy's so right. The conversation around abortion, I think because it is dictated entirely by rich white men, old white men especially, is about promiscuity and birth control. But it is, in fact, Anna, it's women's health care, is it not?
It's part of healthcare for women. Listen, not many generations ago, women died in pregnancy and childbirth all the time.
Women are dying now. Women of color are dying right now giving birth because guess what? They don't even care how they feel. They don't care.
Listen, if you look at the World Health Organization's information, they will tell you that about 10% of pregnancies result in some sort of medical complication that requires the intervention of a doctor. 10%. And 1 or 2% of pregnancies around the world result in a fetus that's not viable, that has some sort of condition that's not concordant with life, right? If you just play those numbers out in Florida, you are talking about thousands and thousands of women every single year. There were 220,000 live births in Florida last year, right? Just apply those numbers here to this state, and you can see how sooner or later, every single family in Florida has to deal with the situation like one that Lucy just described. It's all the time. It's everywhere. People have been taught to be ashamed of it. People feel tremendous guilt about it. Obviously, people who want to be pregnant and need to terminate feel tremendous grief and shame. This isn't something you wander around a cocktail party.
Could you imagine?
Flings out, with his buddies over a beer. Hey, guess what happened last week?
No,
right?
You can't talk about those things. Imagine right now, Billy, Leslie and I, my friend Leslie, we're talking about this. We're driving in and we're like, imagine going up to you work in an office environment. Whoever here is in charge of checking off who's got free days, who's got sick days and all that. And you go up to her and you're going to go, or him, and you're like, hey, yeah, I can't come in for the rest of the week. Why? I'm going to be sick. Excuse you? Or after the fact, you don't want to go into work. You have to lie. You spend about 2 weeks lying to everybody around you. Oh no, I had the flu. I had this. I can't walk into an office. Hey guys, so got an abortion. Need a couple days to, check on my mental health right now. You can't do that. That's not allowed. That's people frown upon that. And even the most woke people treat you differently. I'm telling you, man. Telling you, this is real life.
Stigma around it, and there shouldn't be. Listen, I have daughters as well. My daughters are 18, just a hair under 21, and 24. So if there was anybody who had a lot of skin in this game, it's me. I know for a fact that my daughters live in a Florida where they are less safe than I have been. It's just a fact. Because when you have the brainiacs in Tallahassee, people who've managed to screw up health insurance, homeowners insurance, windstorm insurance, they can't figure out how to fund mass transit. They literally can't get the trains to run on time. And these people have decided that they need to take their big rear ends, sit down inside of every medical office, every ER across the state, and tell doctors how they're supposed to practice medicine and how this is all going to work and what the criteria are to make my daughters safe.
And have an opinion.
That gets me a little bit up in my feelings. And I think it gets most Floridians up in their feelings. And that's why 70% of Floridians approve of this petition. The response to the petition drive has been overwhelming. Nobody expected us to be where we are. We're weeks ahead of where we thought we would be at this time. Most of the time with these petitions, you kind of have to you have to explain it to people.
Right.
If you can put your brain back into fair districts, which was a constitutional amendment they did a while ago, you have to stand and talk and explain to people how the census works and how congressional redistricting works and what gerrymandering is and all this kind of stuff, right? And you don't have to do that with access to abortion. Roe was the law of the land for 50 years. People understand exactly what we're talking about. They know what's going on. And to be completely honest, every single family in this state has had to deal with it, whether they want to admit it or not. So we feel like this is one whose merits are obvious. It's been the law of the land for 50 years. The crazy 6-week ban that was signed by the governor a few months ago just is in practice impossible to effectuate without hurting people. Hurting people everywhere, all the time.
You have dispelled the myth that this is a pro-life position. It is simply an anti-choice position, and it's also an anti-First Amendment position. We've had Rabbi Barry Silver on this program, and my people have a religious belief that the safety and health care of the woman is paramount, and not that of an unborn, maybe future child. And so you'd think that would be a fundamental conservative value as well, to preserve that religious freedom. And the University of North Florida released a poll in March ahead of this devastating, and I don't want to call it a 6-week abortion ban. It is an abortion ban, full stop. 6 weeks is bullshit. But University of North Florida poll found that 77% of respondents opposed the state's 6-week abortion ban. That included 62% of Republicans. And this governor and the supermajority GOP legislature, they did it anyway, like against the will. 77% of Floridians don't agree on anything, Anna.
Do you remember that
really? We don't even agree what time of day it is. We'll all get into a fist fight because their watch and the iPhone for some reason got misaligned, right? Like, you can't get 77% of people to agree what color the sky is, because those people with color blindness always manage to screw it up. But somehow we can get 77% of people, and I guess the other 23% weren't listening closely to the question, to understand that it's a total ban. Nobody knows they're pregnant when they're 6 weeks pregnant.
Nobody does.
It's completely absurd to imagine that any of this in the ground is anything other than a total ban. And by the way, the exceptions that they claim to have built into it, that you can get an exception if your 10-year-old daughter or 11-year-old daughter ends up pregnant, as long as you have like a police report that explains that you had a restraining order against it. It's like, if an 11-year-old is pregnant, a crime's been committed. You don't have to prove it. Let's make it clear. There are cases in which the very idea that you have to jump through all of these idiotic hoops in order to access normal health care as a family, as an individual, it's just an excuse to make it impossible for people to deal with the medical realities that affect themselves and affect their families. And so, nobody wants to turn this into a hysterical fight. I don't even think you have to make it a hysterical fight. It annoys people. It really ticks people off. I think it ticks off young women. Listen, I've met more 65-year-old PO'd ladies in the last month than I have in my entire life. Over and over and over again. I can't believe I have to do this again. I just can't believe I have to do this again. I marched my way through college, and now I get to spend my golden years marching my way again on the very same issue. It's like this deaf, dumb, and blind crew just refuses to pick up their head, look around, and recognize what normal average people in Florida want, which is to make sure that people are safe and that they can get the medical care they need, and that the government minds its own business.
Billy,
that's what it's about.
Billy, do you remember there was like this thing on TV when a hurricane happened? There was like a super popular rap artist, and he was hanging out with Austin Powers, and he looked at the camera and he said, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Sometimes I feel like I should say politicians don't care about women's rights.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, after 30,000 years of misogyny and patriarchy, like, why are any of us surprised that given the most minimal opportunity, we're all going to get shoved back in the back alley, right, to deal with our issues that way? I mean, this should surprise no one. Human beings have not evolved as much as we like to give ourselves credit for.
So I'm ready to sign a petition, bro.
Yeah, Anna Hochkammer, the Vice Mayor of Village of Pinecrest, Executive Director of the Florida Women's Freedom Coalition. How do Floridians sign the petition?
There's a gazillion ways to sign the petitions. You can go to our website. It's FloridaWomen'sFreedomCoalition.com, or you can just Google abortion access petition. It will take you to our website, to a Planned Parenthood website, to an ACLU website, you name it. There's a ton of websites out there. You can just fill it out online. You do have to print it because this is Florida and they've gone out of their way to make the petition process as difficult as humanly possible. You have to print it and you have to actually wet sign it with a pen and date it and mail it back to the address.
Right?
Form.
Look how difficult.
It's wild. And you need to do it quickly because they've also changed their rules so that 30 days after you sign that petition, it becomes invalid again. So if you sit on it and you putter around the kitchen and you don't get it in, out the mail, especially younger people who like rarely even check their mailbox because they do all their bills online and barely even recall that there's, weird catalogs growing mold inside their mailbox. You got to get it in the mail and put a stamp on it and send it out, and you got to do it quickly. So I usually tell people between when you sign it and date it, it should be in the mail 7 days later if you really want that to count. Otherwise, you've wasted your printer ink and your stamp.
Anna Hochkammer, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I really do want to come back and talk about the Uyghurs.
I've got something I'm going to say that I'm not going to say, that I probably will have already said in another segment that we haven't recorded yet.
Please stop.
We have a song this week. You'll want to listen to the whole show, Anna.
Anna, thanks for fighting the big fight. Thanks for fighting for us women.
Everybody join, sign a petition, Google it, volunteer. There are tons of groups out there that are collecting petitions. You can donate online. All this petition stuff costs money. Florida Women's Freedom Coalition.com. Our symbol is the Statue of Liberty, baby.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Lucy Lopez, my co-host with the most. You can find her at the Lucy Lopez on social media. She is the host of the Mamacita Rica podcast. Did I say that right?
Bro, no.
Mamacita
Again.
Rica? No? Okay, give it to me. Por favor.
Hi, Aaliyah here.
Come in.
It's pronounced Mamacita Rica podcast.
A bit of a code switch there. Very good.
Mamacita Rica.
Rica with a C.
Rica. I'd say.
But you're not saying it right, bro.
It says because Francis. It says it right here. It says it's Rica, which makes infinitely more sense.
But I don't hear the K when you're talking, Billy.
Because it says T.
Say it from
says
the top.
T on my notes.
From the Brooklyn guy.
It's from the Brooklyn guy. Matt.
It's your fault.
Matt put Rita on the.
Listen,
I fall on my sword.
I don't care what the Beastie Boy just had to say to us.
Oh.
Repeat.
That was high praise, actually.
Ready? Mamacita Rica podcast.
Mamacita Rica podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, Mamacita Uyghur podcast.
Qué pesado eres.
Ay,
No te
Dios
soporto.
mío.
Mackenzie.
Who's Mackenzie?
Uyghur. That's who Matthew Kachuk got traded for, as well as Jonathan Huberdeau.
I already forgot.
Stick to sports, would you please, Lucy?
Those are the two. Those were like the most magical moments in my life when my husband was like, "I'm gonna go watch," and he would like freak out, and I'd be like, "Bye."
He's gonna go watch what?
Later, football.
Florida Panthers hockey.
The hockey, the basketballs, the whole things. I'm like, go, vete, leave me alone.
Magical weeks.
I love him.
I mean, you can see on the screen there, two of those places, those arenas, are the places those teams play in.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, it's nice places.
Cocaine's.